Hello everyone. Today we're talking about another case that has found a gun law unconstitutional in the wake of the U.S. Supreme Court ruling in New York State Rifle and Pistol Association versus Bruen. But before we get into the Second Amendment victory, be sure to show your support for the second by clicking the like button below, and if you haven't already done so, please be sure to subscribe to our channel by clicking the subscribe icon located in the bottom right hand corner of your screen. The latest 2A victory came out of the United States District Court for the Southern District of West Virginia last week when a federal judge issued an order finding 18 U.S.C. 922K, which prohibits the possession of a firearm with an altered, obliterated, or removed serial number unconstitutional. Here is a quick rundown of the facts of that case. On July 16th of 2019, the defendant, Randy Price, was pulled over because his registration was improperly displayed. During that traffic stop, officers discovered a pistol in which the serial number had been obliterated. Price was arrested and later indicted by a grand jury for possession of a firearm with an obliterated serial number and also for possession of a firearm by a convicted felon because he had previously been convicted of involuntary manslaughter and aggravated robbery. After the U.S. Supreme Court ruling in the Bruen case was released, Price filed a motion to dismiss both counts of the indictment, arguing that his conduct is protected by the Second Amendment and was unregulated in 1791. On October the 12th of 2022, U.S. District Court Judge Joseph R. Goodwin issued a 20-page order agreeing and disagreeing with Price's argument. In short, Judge Goodwin, applying the standard used in Bruen, determined that the law which prohibits the possession of a firearm with an altered, obliterated, or removed serial number unconstitutional because it is not consistent with the nation's historical tradition of firearm regulations. He focused his decision on the fact that from the ratification of the Second Amendment in 1791 up until the Crime Act of 1990 was enacted, it was legal to possess a firearm that had the importer's or manufacturer's serial number removed, obliterated, or altered. He also wrote in the opinion about how serial numbers were not broadly required for all firearms manufactured and imported in the United States until the passage of the Gun Control Act of 1968. And even after the Gun Control Act of 1968 was enacted, it was only unlawful for a person to knowingly transport, ship, or receive in interstate or foreign commerce any firearm with the importer's or manufacturer's serial number removed, obliterated, or altered. This restriction only dealt with firearms in the stream of commerce and did not make it unlawful for an individual to possess a firearm with the serial number removed, obliterated, or altered. The judge, however, did deny Price's motion to dismiss the count of the indictment, finding him in violation of 18 U.S.C. 922G subsection 1, which prohibits possession of a firearm by a convicted felon. In his order, Judge Goodwin wrote, "I am convinced that the Supreme Court left the generally undisturbed the regulatory framework that keeps firearms out of the hands of dangerous felons through its decision in the Bruen by reaffirming and adhering to its reasoning in the Heller and McDonald cases." So, does this mean that lawful gun owners can start removing the serial numbers from their firearms today? Absolutely not. The decisions of U.S. District Courts are only binding within their jurisdiction and have no binding effect on other courts. Further, this decision may be appealed. However, as of today, October the 18th of 2022, the government has not filed a notice of appeal yet. This is another step in the right direction of striking down many of the unconstitutional gun laws prevalent through the country. Of course, the gun grabbers of the left are throwing a fit, and maybe even some of you are questioning if this decision is a good thing or not. Let me tell you, this decision will not make it easier for criminals to commit crimes and get away with it, so don't worry about that. Why? Because the vast majority of criminals who commit crimes with a firearm use stolen guns. Criminals don't go purchase guns from gun stores to use in crimes. Instead, they purchase them off the streets or obtain them by breaking into cars and homes. Any ruling that strikes down gun restriction is a win for the law-abiding citizen, not for criminals. Until next time, stay armed and educated.